in reverse. So you are guiding other people and kind of maybe even instilling in them some type of discipline and organization and focus and structure within their life. And that could go into, say, life coaching, mentoring, counseling, many different types of career fields. But you are, here with this type of energy to help to lead others, to guide others, to mentor other people. And you can't really do that until you've really learned to understand yourself and who you are and what these gifts are and how they're meant to serve a purpose to be able to help other people. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles energy here as well. And the Knight of Pentacles energy is this, slow but steady progress and movement forward. It is about commitment and, dedication and putting forth effort and being very cautious with how you are moving towards like positive steps in one's life. So you could be helping other people to live a more fulfilling life that is filled with balance, where they're not able to find or see that within themselves. We have the Six of Pentacles energy here, so you could really be kind of helping people in a way to find structure, to really learn to discipline themselves, to stay organized, to stay focused. And so those type of skills, like I said, you could use them, in spiritual type of job, but you can also use those skills with, like, say, more conventional type of employment or career, where you are someone who goes out and gets a specific degree, say in psychology or, any other field, social service, or something that is helping people. I mean, to me, I'm even kind of thinking along the lines of, helping people who are, have trouble with staying disciplined, and maybe that is helping them with their nutrition or helping them with their working on their physique, right? There's so many different ways, but through you learning about yourself and really working hard on yourself, you're teaching people to kind of put that same amount of work and focus into themselves, where they are kind of reclaiming their power from situations from their past. And being that we do have the world energy in reverse, to me, this is about cycles that people have kept themselves in, where, maybe there's been a lot for the people that you're helping, that they've gone through a lot and they've been kind of keeping themselves stuck in the same cycle, day after day, year after year. And so you're helping them to kind of move beyond those karmic or even toxic type of cycles, addictions, or, anything that is holding them back. You're giving them the guidance, the mentorship that they need to kind of help them to close out those cycles that have kind of kept them stuck. Okay. I'm also seeing that we do have the Six of Pentacles energy here as well. And the Six of Pentacles could be you using your gifts through kindness, through generosity, through you helping other people that need help. You're giving them the help that they need. And with the Six of Pentacles energy here, by you kind of putting forth that type of energy, you're also receiving that back in terms of, say, like good karma, or, you're teaching people, that the energy that they are putting out is what they are getting back. So if they're wanting to see some type of positive change within their life, they have to really keep themselves on track. And that's sometimes very, much easier said than done. For a lot of us that kind of feel like we get stuck and we feel lost and we feel stagnant and, many other different things. So I'm also seeing that we do have the Four of Cups energy here. And the Four of Cups can sometimes be when we have certain blind spots, when there's something about ourselves, our pattern of behavior that we're just not seeing and we don't know how to change it, right? We can't see, I was going to say we can't see our way out of a paper bag, but that's not what I meant to say. Oh, but it's kind of just like when you feel that there is, maybe no opportunities, or you're feeling bored, or you're feeling indifferent, or you're feeling like, how do I get myself out of this rut? How do so the Four of Cups energy can definitely be for people that are feeling that they've had so many different missed opportunities in their life, or they're just not seeing the opportunities that are there for them to improve, say, their quality of life. So with this Tower energy, to me, it could be that you are kind of giving people a wake up call. You're giving them kind of like a shake up in their life where they really need it. And it's bringing in through some powerful, with the Tower energy here, powerful energy of change. Because I feel like making them have realizations, epiphanies, kind of like helping them to get that light bulb to go on. Um, with finding balance within their life, and to really kind of, push themselves for more, or for better, or uh, yeah, more discipline, more focus, more organization. Um, and I feel like just sharing so much knowledge here. And the Tower energy is something that comes in as divine intervention. So some of you, I almost feel like, for some of you, it could even be that you are in some kind of way that I'm kind of thinking of, is that you are serving even as, say, like another person's spirit guide here on earth. That you kind of like are that person who's stepping into their life to give them the guidance, the mentorship, that they need. And some of you may even be, as you are learning to focus on yourself to get yourself to this energy, you may feel called to teach others, and like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be, super conventional. You can take it the spiritual route, which would be more unconventional for a career. But this is definitely the energy of the teacher, because you are someone who holds a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom within the self. So I almost feel like those of you that chose this pile, this is not your first lifetime, that you have done this. The Hierophant energy is something that this knowledge has been something that has been attained over many lifetimes. So this time it's all about you remembering who you are, and about accessing that knowledge within the self, because it's like Spirit is saying, God to earth and energy here twice. Um, and that Tower energy is kind of, like I said, it creates upheaval. It could even be people that have gone through a lot of turmoil in their life. And sometimes when you go through a lot of turmoil, a lot of, tragedy or trauma, or, things that kind of make you feel like your life is flipped upside down, and you've experienced so many of these Tower moments in your own life, and you've had to really kind of build yourself back up again, hitting rock bottom, and then kind of building yourself back up again to be that phoenix kind of rising from the ashes. That once you have this tool and have mastered the self, after you've had that low yourself in your own life, are you then able to kind of instruct to help other people when they're going through that same thing, right? And yes, you can go to school and learn, and get a formal degree and things like that, with, learning about different things that have, that can kind of plague our lives in a way. But it's also coming, I feel like, from a lot of your own personal experience, because many of you that chose this mile may have, or this pile may have also found yourself in that place where you've learned so much about yourself. And then we have the Lovers energy here, and the Lovers in this case is also a very, very spiritual energy. Um, so this almost makes me feel here with the Lovers and seeing the Hierophant here, that this is a almost like you are serving as a divine guide to other people, and it's kind of like Spirit is wanting you to kind of find this balance within yourself, within your own feminine and masculine energies. And I'm seeing that there is this beautiful lotus that's here, and lotuses are something, if you're not familiar, they grow through the murky, muddy, dark water. And to me, that is very symbolic for some of you that may have seen darker days or who have gone through some really challenging things in your own life. And you have emerged or will emerge to be this, this beautiful, bright, shining light to help other people that have experienced these tower moments. So, in some way, you're coming into their life and maybe sometimes very unexpectedly, giving them the mentorship or the guidance or teaching them the tools and skills that they need to be able to help themselves out of situations where they feel like when they do experience that tower moment in their own life, that they don't know how to, find their way out of that, right? And then we've got the Two of Pentacles here in reverse as well. And the Two of Pentacles in reverse is about being stuck, right? Being stuck, living in the past. And so you're helping people, like I said, it's connected to that world energy in reverse where we're not able to close out certain cycles, right? Whatever those cycles may be, you're helping people to find their way out of it and to really open themselves up to new opportunities, especially if they're super focused or fixated on things that they've no longer have or things that they've lost, whether that is a job, a relationship, something from the past here. Okay, so I want to clarify this energy just a little bit because with I feel like with the world energy in reverse, like I said, this can be any type of cycles that people have not closed, not closed out. So let's see, why is the world energy here in reverse? We have the Queen of Swords. Why is the world in reverse? We also have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so to me, with that world in reverse, like I said, it's stuck in that cycle, unable to complete a cycle of something. The Page of Pentacles in reverse is where someone may feel afraid to start new, to start over, to create something new. And we have the Queen of Swords energy here as well. And the Queen of Swords is about logical, rational thinking and action and making decisions and choices. And I feel like you're helping people to kind of learn to close out those cycles so that they don't have to be afraid to invest their time and energy into creating something new, whether that is, a creative project or, actually start to really working on themselves. Okay. So the signs that I'm seeing the most strong that are coming through here, or Taurus energy, Gemini energy, Libra, Aquarius. Okay, we also have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy here as well. So let's, what else do I want to cover? I feel like I want to look at this Two of Pentacles in reverse. Why is the Two of Pentacles in reverse? So with the Queen of Swords energy here, you'd be coming in with an objective point of view, non-judgmental, meaning that when you're helping people, you are not judging them with bias. You're really coming in with some very objective energies of kind of looking at this person or, whoever it is that you're helping or mentoring or guiding, teaching. You're coming in from a very unbiased type of perspective and you're able to help them to kind of clear their mind and to really think clearly, to see things clearly. Okay, the Queen of Swords can also be a teacher. She is in the embodiment of this energy as feminine with the Queen. The Queen of Swords can be someone who does work as a teacher, someone who works motivational speaking, psychology, psychiatry, counseling, so many different types of career fields. Like I said, you can take it super conventional, or you can use it in a term or use it in more spiritual, right? Where you could be someone who is into hypnotherapy or someone who is, straight up teaching people better ways of coping or healing or, anything that you're really using with your voice, your thoughts, the clarity within your own mind. Okay. So let's see, why is the True of Pentacles here in our verse? We have the Three of Wands. Okay. So to me, it's kind of like you're helping people to look to their future. Um, Look to their future and kind of see the potential of which they're taking the steps in the right direction to move on from the past, okay, and create something new. Why is the Four of Cups here? We have the World, okay? So you're helping people to close out this cycle of boredom and missed opportunities and feeling unfulfilled, feeling disappointed in their life or in themselves. Um, Sometimes this Four of Cups can kind of border along the lines of sadness and depression and just feeling like just unhappy, right? Unhappy with their own life. So with the World energy here, you're helping people to kind of close out these cycles where they're no longer keeping themselves in this type of energy. Okay, whichever way you use it, and it is with using your voice. So whether that is you creating a podcast or you, like I said, becoming a psychologist, a psychiatrist, working in rapid transformational therapy, which is RTT, which also uses um, hypnotherapy. Okay, so whatever way you want to do it, the Hierophant here twice, your strongest energy here is that you are a teacher, you are a mentor, you are a guide. So that's how you are supposed to be using that. And then I'm also seeing the Death card underneath the deck. So some Scorpio energy here. And this is transformation, right? And the way that I'm seeing this here is that we have this woman's face down here. And it looks like there's also these two bodies to me, which to me is, we've got the Lovers here. So like I said, this could be this balance within the self, the yin and the yang, the shadow, the light, the masculine, feminine. And there's cobwebs that are around this here, around these two, which look like females here, but you get it, you get the picture. There's this split energy here. So you're helping them to kind of clear, in a way, this web of something in their mind that is keeping them stuck. And then we have this moth here, right? Which is this transformation that you're helping them within their mind, right? So like I said, no matter how you do it, whether it's conventional or unconventional in your career, or you feel like your soul's purpose, that doesn't matter. It is that you are this energy, okay? So let's go into our oracle messages, right? So with the Death card being about transformation and about bringing certain things to an end, right? Any types of patterns of behavior, ways of thinking, unhealthy relationship patterns of behavior, toxicity, karmic cycles, you're helping people to kind of bring an end to that, right? And they're emerging this new self that is balanced in that Lover's energy. Okay, let's. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? So are you meant to use your psychic gifts and talents? We have resilience here. And it says you don't give up despite the obstacles ahead. You know how to take care of yourself and find peace in the storms of life, right? And this resilience is not something that you learned right off the bat, right? We've all been through phases in our life where we had, an insurmountable amount of obstacles that we faced. And when we first start to go through those kinds of things, we feel like, oh my goodness, how am I ever going to get through this, right? But this resilience energy here is that once you start to really learn things from those challenges that you've gone through in life, like I said, this is how you acquire that knowledge from your own life experience, but also because I'm feeling that those of you that do believe in past lives, that this is something that you've acquired over many lifetimes. And so this resilience that you have within yourself, and to really find that peace in the calm, right? With that tower energy there, that you're helping people to not give up on themselves and to really take care of themselves and find balance within themselves. So let's see what else is here. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? Pile one. And some of you with the Queen of Swords, if you are someone who likes to sing, right? You have musical talent. You know, like I said, the Queen of Swords, the Swords energy is about communication. I also see it kind of connected into the throat chakra as well. You are using your voice here, okay, as a teacher, as a mentor. So even if you were someone who likes to sing and you sing, you know, whether you're somebody who likes to sing or chant or the use of sound and vibration to help people to find that balance within themselves, or if you're someone who practices light language, right, which can also be something that is profoundly healing. So like I said, however you do it, you know, it is unique to you within this lifetime. We also have Earth here, and it says you have a strong connection to Earth, making you great at Earth magic. You are a pillar of strength with firm boundaries who demand respect in a very graceful manner, right? And this too, also something that we don't learn right off the bat, right? We learn how to set healthy boundaries, firm boundaries, and you know, have teach people how to maybe gain respect or respect from others in a way that they learn how to set those healthy boundaries so that they have people respect them, their needs, you know, whatever it is that they've got going on. So let's see what else. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? Pile one. We also have Daydreamer. And it says you can use your imagination and creativity to create a wide array of routes to success and build your dreams to live an abundant life, right? So you can even be teaching this. To me, this also sounds like guided meditations, right? Teaching people skills, using your own imagination in a creative way. You're creating a wide array of routes to success. You can be helping people, kind of going back to that RTT or rapid transformational therapy, hypnotherapy, guided meditations, to help people to build their dreams to live an abundant life, right? And I'm also noticing you guys chose manifest here too, right? So you're almost like you're teaching people to find this strength and this power within themselves, right? So that they are able to manifest the life that is truly going to bring them happiness, fulfillment. So let's see what else. We also have becoming here. And it says you can easily tap into people's fantasies and become them. Multifaceted, complex, but well-rounded, making you hard to read. Okay? So with this type of energy here, to me, this is about you being able to connect to people's energies. And for those of you who say are clairvoyant or clairsentient or clairaudient, when you're connected into another person's energy, you may be able to kind of pick up on internal cues about what that person needs to hear, what kind of guidance that person needs within their life, right? About the things that they dream about, the things that they really want, or truly looking for themselves. And you can feel that through maybe conversation with them or, you know, whatever it is that you're helping them with. So let's get one more. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? We have detached here, and it says you're a deep thinker with a high level of emotional intelligence and awareness. Your vibration creates a ripple effect which makes others more aware of their own emotions. Okay? So helping people to kind of recognize and understand what it is that they're truly feeling, right? So that you can help them process or, you know, whatever it is there. Underneath the deck, we have a knowing. And it says you have the ability to connect on a deeper level with people and talk in ways they feel heard. being able to penetrate their veil often leaves people feeling vulnerable. Okay? So this to me is kind of like you are helping people to learn that it is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to open up. It is okay to express themselves. Okay? So let's see what else we've got here. How is child one meant to use their spiritual psychic gifts? We have singleness here, and it says meant to be single on a karmic level. Focus will be your purpose, not love. Perfectly content with being single. So this may also be like a skill that you teach people, is to really learn to empower themselves versus I almost feel like helping people that feel like they need another person to make them feel complete. That you are learning to help them to focus on the self, because we have the first card out here, the Eight of Pentacles, right? You're teaching people self mastery, how to master themselves. And with this energy here, it may also be very heart centered. You're teaching them to find that balance and wholeness within the self so that they're not necessarily looking for a partner to complete them, or feeling like they need to have a partner in order to feel complete. Okay, let's see what else. Especially like say if there's codependency or, unhealthy attachment to partners that you could also be teaching. The Lovers is also about unconditional love. Okay, so you could definitely be teaching people to love themselves first and foremost, unconditionally. We also have draconian energy here, and it says money hungry and manipulative, adept to fitting in like a chameleon. And it says that you can help unite people to work together, right? So you're kind of in some way helping people to kind of transmute these energies from maybe a focus on money and material, and more so helping people to kind of align with energies that are helping them to still achieve their goals, but with more of a focus in I almost feel like a better direction, right? Versus an attachment to, if there's any type of, what am I trying to say? Like overly obsessing about material is kind of what I'm getting for that. Overly obsessing about material things and really kind of pulling it back and teaching them to find that balance within the self, right? So that their worth, their sense of worth is not on something that is external to them. So how are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? We also have lessons here. So you're helping people to see the big picture, learning important lessons in life, and being able to overcome the more difficult lessons that there are. Let's see. We also have soul is royalty, and it says you have an extraordinary regal presence. You are stepping into your own personal power, leaving your purpose as a leader, right? And that's kind of what the Hierophant is. So some of you may feel like you have just kind of like this regal energy about you. You exude this regal presence. And once you are, like I said, you're mastering this within yourself. When you learn to kind of embody your own personal power, you're able to help to lead others to find their own personal power, right? Look at this underneath the deck. Look at that, teacher. Teaching is your calling. A long journey of doing inner work, and teaching others helps you learn, right? Beautiful. I love this. And that you, especially that you have the Hierophant come out twice. So let's see. Let's get some. These last messages. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? We have alignment with the four elements and nature for healing. Okay. So you guys may also feel very cold to healing. Teaching people how to heal. Aligning with the four elements, right? Earth, air, fire, water. To help them keep them grounded and to help keep them, emotions kind of flowing versus holding them back. Clear thinking with the energy of air, and then their spiritual energy with the wands. Okay? Or not the wands, but you get it. The fire energy. I'm thinking of the tarot. So how are you meant to use your spiritual gifts? We have express your divinity, embrace your intuition and your gifts. Okay, so you are learning, like I said, first and foremost, how to express your own divinity, and that is your connection to the divine, to spirit, God, universe, Gaia, whatever you connect with, right? You are finding that and learning to express that within yourself, embracing your intuition and your own gifts so that you're then able to help other peoples to find that and connect with the divinity within themselves, right? Letting go of duality and more in the connection of oneness, right? Oneness versus duality, meaning that we are not separate from spirit, right? We are all interconnected. We are all one. You're teaching people to find that union within the self. So let's see. Wow. We have step into your power and be all that you are meant to be, right? So with your spiritual gifts, you are truly meant to step into your power in this lifetime so that you can help other people and teach other people to step into theirs. Okay? We have constant protection surrounding you, deflecting negativity. Okay? So this is also a message from your spirit guides letting you know that they are protecting you. Like I said, I almost feel like with the Hierophant here and the Lover's energy, many of you may already be kind of like on your spiritual path, on your spiritual journey, or be very strongly connected to the divine. And so your spirit guides are wanting you to know that they are constantly protecting. I feel like your purpose, the way that you're meant to use your gifts in this lifetime, are definitely divinely guided. Like this is what you are meant to do. Truly. This feels like very soul's purpose, very, inner calling. So last messages, how are you meant to use this? We have obstacles are merely lessons, okay? And so because you're teaching people about lessons that are going through obstacles, and I know we saw a message about that earlier, about not, teaching them to kind of get beyond those obstacles there. You're teaching people that these obstacles that they may be currently facing in their life are lessons, right? Because we've got that world in reverse, which means that there's some lesson or cycle that people have let themselves be stuck in, right? Whether it is a situation that they're dealing with, a job that they're stuck in, it's kind of like you are coming in and giving people a wake up call to find themselves and say, hey, I know that you see that this obstacle is here and may feel like you cannot get beyond it, but I'm here to tell you, you can, right? You're teaching them these skills here. So let's see what else, right? It's kind of like you are coaching or, like your talks, your voice, the way that you are expressing yourself to other people that is helping them to learn a lot from you. We have follow your dreams, right? So you following your own dreams is helping people to align with their own and to not be afraid, right? And we also have you are not alone, right? You are not alone. And we have release fear and blame at the bottom. Okay, and this is really letting you letting other people's know, hey, you're not alone. I'm here to help you, to guide you, to teach you, whatever it is I can give to you from, like I said, the Six of Pentacles, kindness, generosity, helping others that are in need, right? If that's what you feel called to do, right? Service to others. Like I said, some of you may take more of a conventional approach where you go out and get like a real world job, a degree, so however you choose to do this, you're teaching people to release fear or even blame, like if they blame another person for a cycle they've been stuck in, or if there's any type of victim mentality, or, even blaming themselves, right? You're teaching people to kind of move beyond that. So I'm going to get one message here, and then I'm going to get some guidance. So how are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? Pile number 1. And we have the spirits of water. Okay, the spirits of water. So I want to kind of see what this is. And I am seeing the Shadow Queen at the bottom, which makes me feel like you are helping people in a way to face their own shadow, right? The fears, the insecurities, the worries, anything that is blocking them. That's going to take me just a second to find where this spirits of water is at, and that is 171. I'm just going to kind of see what this is. We have, let's see, the spirits of water fosters receptivity, sensitivity, and intuition. Okay, it is the expression of the element spirit of water. We see this in the rhythms of nature, the ebb and flow of the seas, and of life. The creative force in this card focuses on birth. In Western mystical and magical traditions, water is associated with the direction west and the color blue. Its corresponding season is autumn, and the times of days are sunset and twilight. Let's see, what else is this? Okay, so the Undine is an elemental of water and the mystical guardian for the tarot suit of cups. So this almost reminds me of the King of Cups, in which compassion, love, and being in touch with your feelings are also themes in this realm of the heart. So yeah, to me this is like the King of Cups, which is compassion and empathy and intuition and creativity. Some of you may be, like I said, natural healers, that you may be called to with that gift, or even empaths, right? And that Shadow Queen, like I said, to me, this is about you helping people to find and face their shadow, the things that are keeping them blocked, right? Let's see what that says quickly. 137. We've got inner radar, sensitivity, and the shadow. And it says the Shadow Queen can be an intense avatar to work with. She portrays the deep and dark part of our psyche that needs to be faced, a shadow silently lurking in our subconscious. Have messages been showing up in your dreamscape? They could be appearing to you to help you uncover your hidden aspect of yourself. Self-reflection and outside guidance may shed some light on these darker places. Okay? So you're helping people to self-reflect on their shadow, on the subconscious mind, right? And like I said, you can do that through hypnotherapy if you choose to, guided meditations, psychology, psychiatry if you want to take it the conventional route, or you can do it in an intuitive healing type of way, with helping people to work on shadow work, inner child stuff, and you being the outside guidance that is helping people to kind of reflect on those darker parts of the self, right, that live within the psyche. It says this card is like the tarot's devil and judgment cards merged together, which says that you will need to make the ultimate decision to transform yourself or your situation, right? You're on the edge of realization and change, but there is still something that is holding you back. Something within your shadow needs to be recognized and examined. We must not shrink from our shadow if we hope to experience transformation, right? So you're teaching people to help to face it, to grow and learn from the self, which is, I already love this. I already love this file. So let's get some last messages for you, pile number 1. Any last messages of guidance for you with your psychic, spiritual gifts, and talent? Okay. So we have cracked open here. Look at that. Rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life, right? So when you have and connect with people or clients or, whatever line of work you do, and the King of Cups would also be like conventional, a nurse, a doctor, unconventional, a Reiki healer, or a massage therapist, or, something else like that. So like I said, however you choose to do it, this is where you're meant to do it. Anything that it's really heart-centered from a place of compassion and love and giving. But you're helping people, right? With the rock bottom type of energy, you're helping them to surrender to the alchemy of life, right? And I'm looking at this picture here, and it looks like this woman is kind of being cracked open here, and she's revealing her kind of like her cosmic energy, right? The true self, the most authentic self that's within, right? Teaching people that. We also have baby steps here, and it says action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. You're teaching people to welcome change, welcome uncertainty, and to not be afraid of taking steps moving forward in their life where they have, like I said, kept themselves stuck. Okay, so let's get one more, and we're going to close it out, pile 1. And we've got the Great Severine. Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. Okay, so this Mars energy and conflict is teaching people. For some, it could be a rude awakening, right? With that Mars energy, that conflict there. So it's almost like stirring the pot with that tower energy to kind of give people a shakeup, right? Their world's been rocked, their life's been flipped upside down, which many of you may have already been there in your own life, and you're kind of building your way back up into a more empowered version of self. But you're teaching people with that Mars energy to face those conflicts that they have and really learn to soften in terms of learning the lessons of unconditional love and facing the shadow and working on themselves and teaching them whatever skills that may be. Okay, so I'm going to leave it here for you, pile number one. I hope that this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next week. Type out too. So for those of you that resonated with the patience card and the smoky quartz, this is going to be a reading today. And we are asking Spirit, how are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? So this is going to be more so focused to those of you who already are aware that you do have spiritual or psychic gifts and specific talents. You just don't know what to do with them or how they're meant to serve you. For those of you who don't know what your spiritual or psychic gifts are, I do have other videos in a playlist to identify those. But if I do see any come through here specifically, then I will definitely let you guys know what they are. So let's get into it. Pile number two. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? Okay. How is pile two meant to use their spiritual psychic gifts and talents? We have the Queen of Swords in reverse. We've got Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy here. We have the Tower in reverse. We also have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. Bottom of the deck, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I'm just going to grab another deck and see what else is coming through. Okay, so the one thing that I'm already seeing here is a block in intuition. And this may be something that you're currently going through. And I feel that it is because of an old past cycle. Something from the past. It could have, for some of you, it could have something to do with a relationship, a romantic partnership, a relationship that you're still holding on to. Okay. It is a cycle that you may have kept yourself in. So the first thing with this is that you are identifying that you are kind of like in the situation and not resisting the ending that has occurred because of this romantic relationship. Okay. So you are first learning how to remove yourself first and foremost so that you can begin to help other people in a way. I don't know how yet or kind of all the details yet, but this is kind of so far what I'm seeing here because the Wheel of Fortune being in reverse is some kind of cycle that you may currently be stuck in. We have the Tower here, so this could have been like a breakup or some type of major upheaval that you've gone through in your life. And sometimes we are resistant to that change that has occurred. The Tower comes in as divine intervention when the divine comes in and steps into our life to remove something from our life. And for some of you with that Knight of Cups energy, this could be revolving around a romantic relationship. And because the Knight of Cups is in reverse, this could be a lot of repressed feelings and emotions, or even heart chakra blockages. So there is heart healing that is needed here. The Two of Pentacles is when you are stuck in the past, right? So after that Tower moment has happened, which could be a breakup, a divorce, a separation, this energy and pain that you may also be experiencing with this, or have experienced in the past, or even recently, is something that is blocking out your own intuition, okay, with that Queen of Swords in reverse. So as you kind of go through this, your own process with being able to release those feelings and emotions and removing those blockages that are there, you're opening yourself up to emotional receptivity, emotional balance, stability, maturity, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable, right? And feeling safe and secure in doing so. So let's get a little bit more here. So I'm also seeing Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy here. So pile number, yeah, we got the Ten of Swords. Okay. So this is some type of pain. Like I said, some of you may have already gone through this. Some of you may be kind of like in the aftermath of some type of Tower moment that has happened in your life. So I'm just going to kind of try to get a little bit more details. But that Ten of Swords is a painful ending. Painful ending. So how is pile number 2 meant to use their spiritual psychic gifts and talents? And with the Queen of Swords being here, I do feel, because it is in reverse, it is a blocked energy. And I feel like it is blocking. For some of you may resonate as clairaudience, clairvoyance as well. Okay, let's see. For some of you, it could even be an empath, okay, with that Knight of Cups. So how are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? And I almost feel like it's because there are blockages that are here, that once you truly kind of clear these blockages, that there is an aspect of healing that is also here. Okay, let's see. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? Pile number 2. We have the Four of Pentacles. So this is could be helping people that have a very strong attachment. Now, if you find that you yourself are kind of in this energy, okay, when our heart chakra is blocked, okay, these can also create blockages within our creative energy, our intuition. Okay, with the Four of Pentacles energy here, this is can be about stagnancy in your life. It also is this attachment that you have to a situation, to a person, and it is holding on to this person very tight and not being able to let them go or to release them. Fear of loss, fear of letting go, fear of making any change, fear of moving on. Okay, so how are you meant to use your spiritual and psychic gifts and challenge? Pile number 2. We have the Three of Cups. We have the Three of Pentacles. Okay. So we have the Three of Cups and we also have the Three of Pentacles here. So to me, this is more an energy of community, meaning that you are working with groups of people. Okay, groups of people here. Let's get a little bit more. We also have the Page of Cups here. Okay, and I am seeing the Six of Pentacles energy here. So to me, this is going to be about service to others. Okay, being that we do have both the Three of Cups and the Three of Pentacles, this is you networking with other people, helping other people, And if you've already kind of gone through this, right? You've already gone through this stage. You've already worked on your healing. You've already had, say, like this feels like you're using your gifts to help people in terms of their romantic relationships or connections. It can be friendships as well because we do have the Three of Cups here. Um, yeah, I'm kind of feeling like this is service to others with that Six of Pentacles energy here. So, like I said, some of you could be, because this is a general reading, you can be in very different stages of where you're at with this situation. Um, but I do feel like it does involve others. The Three of Pentacles here is about networking. Some of you may even feel called to kind of like own your own business. This can be supporting other people, a sense of community here with the Three of Pentacles. I feel like with Three of Pentacles, many of you are being meant to own your own business. Okay. There is entrepreneurship here with that Three of Pentacles. And with the Three of Cups, you could be getting together in groups of people. I'm seeing that there is a group of women that are here and also here as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be female, but this is basically talking about groups of people helping people in a way that are stuck after they've experienced any type of turmoil, chaos, destructive energies that have taken place in their life that have kind of have them blocked emotionally. Now, with the Tower energy, like I said, the first energy that I was kind of picking up is that it could be connected to romantic relationships. However, it doesn't have to be. That Tower energy can really kind of bring in any type of upheaval in our life with anything in life. Um, but being that we do have this energy here, which is the blocked feelings and emotions, those feelings and emotions repressed or cutting feelings off, right? Very guarded, is something that is blocking out this Queen of Swords energy. And this is kind of why it's in reverse. Okay. So I do feel with this here that some of you may be very psychic, there's clairaudience here, clairvoyance. It is that strong connection to spirit or the divine. However, and some of you may even feel called to magic here as well, magical abilities, like if you are resonate as like a witch, because we do have this crow that is here, which is also this symbol of magic and mysticism and things of that nature. Um, but we're seeing a lot of pain here, okay, with that Ten of Swords. So you could be feeling someone who feels called to heal in some way with using your gifts. And I feel like you are using them in a very creative way. Some of you may feel um, connected to like art or music or some type of creative energy because we do have actually the Knight of Cups here, okay? Knight of Cups here in the upright, and we do have it in the reverse here. So if you've already kind of gone through that stage in life where you've had your tower moment, you've had a time where you were kind of stuck in the past because of something that's occurred and it caused a lot of repressed feelings and emotions, a lot of blocked heart energy, and sometimes a lot of that overwhelming pain or heartache that we're experiencing because of something here, it can cloud our judgment. It can create blockages with our intuition. It can create a disconnect between us and our connection to source spirit where we do feel lost and we feel disconnected, we feel detached, and we kind of can't find our way, we can't find our path. So I feel like with the Knight of Cups energy here, you are teaching people in a way, you are teaching people to maybe any type of forms of expression through creative expression, which can be singing, art, dance, music, um, anything that you feel creative. And then the Knight of Cups is also about healing, compassion, empathy. And I feel like it is that you are using these gifts with groups. So like if you're teaching a group something, or you are someone who kind of gets together with the community and kind of have like support groups or, something of that nature, but you're kind of helping in a way teaching, because the Queen of Swords can also be a teacher. She can be someone who is very wise, very intelligent, and being able to kind of give, advice or guidance or mentorship or speaking truth, right, to people, helping people to see things clearly, right? And if there are people that have experienced those tower moments in their life and they're having a difficult time with kind of regaining stability in their life, you're kind of bringing that energy back into them, through helping others here as well. So I want to clarify these energies here just a little bit. I want to see what this tower energy is in reverse. And we've got the Emperor, and we have the Three of Swords. Okay. So to me, this is like a breakup here with maybe a romantic partner. This can even be like a divorce, a separation from someone here. Okay. Some kind of pain that people have gone through or that you may have also experienced. And sometimes, like I said, when we go through that great deal of pain that we're experiencing, that all of our feelings and our emotions can definitely drown out our intuition. We're not able to see things clearly. We feel like we're not able to move on from situations or things from the past. Some of you, the Emperor energy can also represent a father or a father figure. Okay? So if you have lost, say, a parent, or you've had some type of traumatic experience with a male figure, right? Something that was very painful with that Three of Swords. As you learn to heal that wound, you are also helping others in a way to kind of move beyond that as well. So let's see, what else? What is the Nine of Cups here in reverse? We have the Queen of Cups. Okay. And the Queen of Cups is emotional stability. Okay. Also compassion, empathy. Some of you are natural healers. Okay. With this energy, you're meant to heal, whether this is through creative energy, you're finding a creative way to do something, um, teaching forms of expression, painting, art therapy, a Reiki healer, or you feel called to nursing or being a doctor, or someone who's just helping to heal. Some of you, I feel like with the Queen of Cups energy, there are very natural empaths, healers. Okay. What is this Queen of Swords? And I also feel with the Queen of Swords, some of you may also be really good at writing. Okay. Writing, using your voice, sharing your wisdom and knowledge with others. But I am feeling that some of you, there's a little bit of a blockage here that some of you are going through. And so as you learn to move through this blockage yourself, you are able to kind of share that wisdom and that knowledge with other people. Okay, to help other people go through that. So it may be that you feel like in your life, you've gone through a lot of painful experiences, and these lessons that we have, although sometimes very painful and very difficult, we're not meant to keep ourselves in that energy. We're meant to experience whatever it is, as painful as it can be sometimes. And we feel like it's unfair, or why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? But, we all face those things, some of it a little bit worse than other people. But it is how well we really recover and pick ourselves up and learn lessons from that experience and not hold on to all of that pain, right? All of that disappointment that we may have felt in being in that situation. Let's see what this Queen of Swords is here in reverse. We have the Ten of Cups, okay? So the blockage here within the feelings, the emotions, and the blocked intuition is something with those blockages that are there. It is blocking out happiness. It is blocking out fulfillment. So you're teaching people to kind of regain that within themselves, because the Three of Cups is about people coming together, a celebration, joy, happiness. So you're helping in some way to kind of help people to restore that balance within. Okay. That balance within the self, so that they do feel whole again. Okay, why is the Ten of Swords here? We have the Knight of Swords in reverse with that Ten of Swords. So to me, this is kind of like where people are trying so hard to put the pain behind them, and they feel like all of their efforts to try and do that are not helping, right? So you may be teaching people ways of coping. And looking at this Queen of Cups here, she looks, or he looks, like he's meditating, right? So it could be that you are like kind of helping people with some type of practices. To also, with the Emperor energy here, kind of look at the bigger picture of things, right? You could be leading other people with that Emperor energy here as well. Some type of a leader. I'm noticing that here as well. We have one woman who's standing in the middle, and then we have these other women that are kind of sitting lower. So it could be that you're helping people, leading them, guiding them in a way. Why is the Four of Pentacles here? Right? You're teaching people to release attachment. And I often find that a lot of the lessons that we learn ourselves, right, are ones that we're meant to use to help other people. So think about the things that you go through, the experiences that you have, right? Difficult ones, painful ones. We have the Three of Swords again. Okay. So the Three of Swords, sometimes with that Four of Pentacles, to me, it could be that you were helping people to recognize where they're holding on to that pain, right? Unable to escape it, where the point where it consumes them, right? And it disconnects them from self. Okay. So let's see, what is this? We've got the moon. Yep. So look at that. The moon energy is fears, insecurities, doubts, a lot of feelings and emotions that are kind of in the subconscious mind. So you could even be working with people, helping with some type of therapies in which you're getting into someone's subconscious, right? And you can do that through meditations, through any, different types of healing modalities, therapies, and things like that, working with the mind. We also have the Death card in reverse, right? So you're helping people that are maybe kind of resistant to their own transformation, holding on to those fears that are blocking them from being able to open themselves up and being receptive to love, right? Because that Queen of Cups is also unconditional love, which is, something that you could be working with the heart, helping people to heal, okay, from past, painful experiences that they've gone through. And then we also have the Page of Swords here in reverse as well. And that could be that you are helping people to really mature in a way that they think. Okay, you're helping them to mature their thoughts so that they no longer stay focused and fixated on holding onto this Three of Swords energy where, like I said, it consumes them, right? And they feel like they have no way out, but they're not realizing how strongly they are attached to that pain and that experience that they cannot see themselves out of it. They cannot find their way out of those heavy feelings and emotions, right? What is this Wheel of Fortune in reverse? We have the King of Swords, okay? So you're helping people to identify those cycles that they have kept themselves in. You are someone who's being more of an objective type of energy, or you're helping people to identify what is keeping them stuck, right? What is keeping them from being able to release a lot of the repressed feelings and emotions that they have, a lot of the pain. Let's see, what is this for your cups? We have the Queen of Cups, okay, which is beautiful because you have this Queen of Cups energy here twice. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot of healing energy here, a lot of very naturally gifted healers, empaths, intuitives, clairsentience, okay, an empath. And you're teaching love, you're teaching, I feel like, unity and connections, fostering healthy relationships, whether that is friendships, parental relationships, relationships with others is kind of what you're teaching people, unconditional love. Okay. So let's go into your oracle messages. How number 2, how are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? We have a diviner. Wow. You have the natural talent for divination, revealing what is hidden or hear answers that may come in many different forms to help point you in the right path. So some of you may feel very called to tarot reading, okay, or any other type of divination to help other people, right? Healing from breakups, healing from, any type of painful situations around, like I said, male figures with the emperor energy here, parental figures, a bad breakup with a partner, even dealing with, say, like a parent's divorce, losing someone, right? Someone that has passed away. You're kind of using those skills with your divination. So let's see, how are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? We have storyteller here. And it says you have the ability to express life through stories and enhance your magic with symbols. Spirit may also communicate with you through synchronicities. Okay? So to me, this is about you also being able to have that connection to source and to be able to also channel that information for the collective, being that you are with divination here. Okay? So how are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? That is too many. Okay, so we have Earth here, and it says you have a strong connection to Earth, making you great at Earth magic. You are a pillar of strength with firm boundaries who demand respect in a very graceful manner. So some of you may feel very connected to Earth magic, is what Spirit is saying here, Earth magic. So you may feel called to being a witch, right? For some of you, that resonate with that energy. We have overcome here, and it says, having gone into battle with your own dark side, you can see the divinity and sacred elements in the darkness and in destruction. Okay, so you're teaching also people to help to face their own darkness, their own destruction, right? Where they're holding on to this pain, right? Instead of releasing it. I know easier said than done, but holding on to past energy is a choice. Okay, it is a choice. We have, to learn, and it's not something that we all know how to do. We don't know sometimes how to heal ourselves, how to you reach out for help, how to remove ourselves from a place of depression or some sadness or anxiety or, PTSD. We don't know how, right? We don't know how to remove ourselves from that stuck energy, right? Until we actually face it, our feelings, our emotions, and we get the help that we need. And sometimes it's professional help, which is perfectly okay. To where we learn skills of helping us to remove ourselves from that type of energy so that we can live a quality life, right? So, like I said, many of you may have gone through that where you've had to, you know, learn how to navigate through your own darkness, through your own feelings, through your own pain, through your own sadness. And, there is no time limit with which you need to heal in or, feel like you have to be rushed through your healing or that, any of those things. But holding on to pain is a choice, right? We can either choose to keep ourselves in that energy or we can choose to say, okay, this is where I draw the line. I'm over this. I'm done with feeling this way and I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to get the help that I need. I'm going to go to therapy. I'm going to see a psychiatrist. I'm going to see a psychologist. I'm going to go to a healer. I'm going to look up online and look at self-help books. I'm going to do something to help myself. Okay? So you could be coming in and helping people to, face their own destruction, because sometimes we don't know any better, right? We keep ourselves staying in that same cycle over and over again with romantic connections, with friendships, and you think to yourself, why? Why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep having this issue with people, right? So it's not until we really are able to look at ourselves and kind of identify where are we getting stuck? Where are we getting lost? And learn better ways. Like I said with the Page of Swords, you're helping people to mature in terms of their thought process, right? You're helping people to see things clearly. She's got her glasses on, but you're helping people to see things clearly so that you could kind of like are that voice of reason. You're helping people in that way to kind of move through that. And we've got Catalyst at the bottom. And it says you're someone that evokes progress and change in people, making them aware that something could be better, leaving them forever changed. Right? So you're serving with your voice, with your healing, with your words, however you're doing it, you're serving as a catalyst in other people's lives to and like almost help to empower them to create and manifest change in their life so they don't have to live in pain, in fear, in insecurity, in a disempowered energy. You're helping them to really rise and to find that healing and that balance within themselves. And it could be through groups, through community, through helping people, right? And in groups of people. So you're kind of helping the masses here. Okay, so let's get a little more pile number 2. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and your talents? We have easy road here, and it says good karma flowing into your life, a comfortable average life, and making it through life unscathed, right? So you're teaching people that even though they have gone through these things, life doesn't always have to be that way. It doesn't always have to be hard and difficult and challenging, and you're teaching them ways of coping, right? Offering them support, offering them guidance, but teaching them that they can be free of these things that could be holding them back. And right, like I said in the beginning, this could be something that you're currently learning how to do. And as you're learning this skill yourself, you're better prepared to be able to help other people, especially if you're a tarot reader, and you're going through something personal and you're also helping people, with people not even knowing what's going on in your own life, but you're teaching people these skills. And as you were kind of presented with all of these different situations of things that are going through another person's life, you learn so much more, right? We do learn a lot as readers when we kind of see other people's energy and we kind of can help identify where a person is stuck. Sometimes seeing that in someone else's energy kind of makes the light bulb go on for us as readers too. And we're just like, wow, I can take what spirit has just told this person, what I'm channeling for this person, and use that as guidance for myself, right? So this is you helping, people to kind of move through life where they don't feel like every single situation that they go through is horrible and it's this huge massive obstacle that they're never going to be able to get through, right? Or that they don't have the power to be able to make different choices to change the course of the direction that their life is currently going in, right? All of that maturing in their thoughts, okay? And you're doing it from a place of heart and compassion and empathy and love and helping people versus judge for people who may not see things quite the way that you do, right? But you're helping people to kind of give them a little bit of a push in the right direction to say, hey, there is a way for you to see beyond this, right? And I'm going to help you with that. Whether that is you doing divination or you using your skills in a different way as a healer or somebody who is speaking to people, groups of people, and helping to lead them and guide them out of that, okay? So let's see. Number 2, how are you meant to use your gifts? We've got, look at that, lost, right? Your soul is asking for change, a phase of self-discovery and creation, a time of confusion and feeling lost. You're helping people that feel lost. Okay, helping people that feel lost. And some of you might also feel that way right now, right? You're helping yourself to navigate through that energy. Right? And a lot of it, I feel like, because a lot of the healing energy that came in, if you feel like, okay, I'm not here yet, right? There's healing to do, right? There's repressed feelings and emotions that could currently be blocking out your intuition or your psychic gifts. And by you choosing to focus on healing and getting the help that you need, whether professional or you're going to a doctor, you're going to a Reiki healer, you're going to somebody that's is a good resource for you, friends, support, whatever it is, you're helping yourself to move beyond that so that you're then able to help other people. Okay. We've got responsibility. Take responsibility for your life, seeing your own faults and owning up to your mistakes, right? So you're teaching people accountability, responsibility, that their own choices have led them to where they are, right? And sometimes that is a hard pill to swallow with saying, okay, how did I screw this up? Why am I here? Why am I experiencing this? Why does my life suck right now? Right? Why am I going through this? But it is our choices that manifest the reality that we are experiencing, right? Sometimes if we choose to keep ourselves in a painful situation, right? Or we don't set boundaries and we keep going through the same thing over and over and over again, that's a choice, right? So you're teaching people to learn to be accountable and responsible, take responsibility for their own life, their own decisions, their own choices, and seeing where they made a mistake or how can I learn from that mistake, right? So let's see. Okay, so we also have level 6 consciousness, and it says between the world and spiritual realm, you mastered living between both worlds, and you can resolve conflicts and offer guidance, right? So this energy to me is that you have not only this connection with the spiritual realm, but you have that balance between the physical world and the spiritual world. So you're teaching people in a way both what you've learned here in the physical as well as the downloads that you get for people. Or, if you are a tarot reader or you are a healer, that you're finding that balance between both physical, spiritual, and you are working on mastering those two energies, right? You're not overly living in your head and being super spacey and, sometimes living very spiritual, right? And sometimes we need to really ground ourselves because we are still living on earth, right? We still have to be present. So sometimes it is difficult, right? Especially if you're going through a spiritual awakening or have gone through, you can feel like you're way in the clouds in your spiritual awakening and you're not really focusing on what you're needing to do here on earth. So by you really focusing on that balance between both your spiritual gifts and also, yes, I'm still present on earth, you are better able to help people resolve the conflicts that they're currently dealing with their life and be able to offer them the guidance, both spiritual and also real world experience to be able to go through things make it past things. We have mastery here, and it says mastering what you're being called to, and you're meant to conquer your life mission and discovering your true self. Okay, so this is for you. You're using your gifts for mastery of self. Why? Because you're helping other people, right? So once you've mastered you can help other people. And it's not to say that you can't do it before that, but this is really where Spirit's saying this is your mission. This is what you are meant to do in this lifetime, is master you. Okay, discover who you truly are so that you can help people to kind of uncover that aspect of themselves. We also have the ego self, okay? And it says dismantling the ego is a crucial step. So you're using your own spiritual gifts, psychic gifts, talents to dismantle your ego self, right? First and foremost, your ego self. This is Spirit saying this is the biggest block to your true self, right? You must explore the nature of your ego. And if you see in this picture here, she looks like she's taking selfies. She's all about her external personal appearance, which, a lot of people do that, and I don't really want to go too far into that, but this is really Spirit saying you're needing to separate the ego. You're needing to separate the need for validation from other people, right? How many likes is my post getting? How many this is my getting? Where we kind of over put too much energy within the ego, right? Um, and this is spirit wanting you to kind of let that go. Learn to let go of the ego, right? Which is sometimes can be based in fears, insecurities, doubts, not feeling good enough, all of these things. That is not our true self, right? That is not our most authentic self. When we feel all of these lower vibrational energies and we're so caught up in the physical world, the ego, right, gets in the way here. This is spirit saying the biggest block is to your true self is your ego. Okay? So letting go of the ego, letting go of the need to feel, like I said, validated by other people, right? Whether you're on social media and you feel like, I only got this many likes on my picture. Does that mean that I'm not pretty? Does that mean that I'm not accepted? Does that mean that I'm not worthy? So it's kind of like we need to let that part of the self go. Okay, and I'm also seeing perspective shift here at the bottom as well. This is a phase of deep questioning where you start to ask yourself deeper questions. You're seeing through people's lies, delusions, and stop seeing life as you once did. Now, this happens when we are truly looking into the self. We are really kind of unpacking, right? All the conditioning, all the self-limiting beliefs, and we are then able to have that perspective shift. So those of you that have already kind of worked on letting go of the ego, letting it take the back seat, no longer in control here, and coming in with a balanced energy with the material world and the spiritual realm, and I'm having this shift in perspective. By you being able to master that, you're able to help other people to also have that perspective shift. Okay, so how are you meant to use your gifts? We have magnetically attracting loving and kind people into my circle. Okay, so you're being a magnet. You're learning how to be a magnet for more, like I said, loving, harmonious connections, relationships, right? And that doesn't happen if we're feeling lost, if we're feeling detached, if we're feeling disconnected, if we're in pain. We're not going to attract this energy, right? So once you're helping people to kind of identify where they can let those things go, you're helping people to change and shift their vibration. Okay. We have healing ability to help yourself and others. Okay. We have spiritual insight to easily resolve problems. And we also have spirit guides helping to remove toxic energies. Okay. So you could literally be serving as someone else's spirit guide here on earth, right? To help them remove themselves from toxic patterns of behavior, toxic belief systems. But this is also your spirit guides as well, helping to remove those energies that are keeping you held back, right? We have spiritual protection and teachers. Okay, so some of you may even feel called to teach something, right? Which you can totally do through the tarot as well, depending on how you use it. We have emotional balance here. So you're finding this, like I said, first and foremost within yourself, so that you can use that for helping others. We also have clear your energy here. Okay, teaching people how to clear their energy of things that are holding them back, right? Toxic stuff that they've got surrounding them. So let's get this last message here and we're going to get some guidance. So how is Fauci meant to use their spiritual psychic gifts and talents? For file number 2, how are they meant to use their spiritual psychic gifts and talents? That one, I don't know if that one must have come out or not. Let's see. Okay, so we've got boundaries. Wow. Okay, so many of you, yes, learning how to set boundaries and connections, relationships, wherever it may be. I'm also seeing the muse of art here. Okay, so like I said, some of you maybe feel very called to doing something with art, whatever art means to you, right? Some type of form of expression. And I want to see what this message has for you guys. They've got boundaries. Okay, so that is 39. And this one here with the boundaries says relations, self-care, and a psychic shield. And it says this oracle card is about setting various boundaries for healthy relationships. Boundaries can strengthen relationships and can vary depending on context and whom we are with. Setting boundaries is significant for personal as well as professional relationships, right? So even if you are someone who does already work with helping other people, you also need to remember to keep healthy boundaries within that dynamic as well, right? Clients or whoever it is that you're working with or using your gifts with, right? You also need to have boundaries in place there as well. Okay. Let's see. Professional boundaries are different because a framework is established at the very beginning of the relationship. Written policies, procedures, and contracts are examples of communicating specific boundaries. As professionals, this makes our expectations clear to customers, peers, and clients, right? Energetic boundaries are subtle. They expand, contract, and shift depending on our state of being. They are known by various names: energy bubble, psychic shield, or orb of protection. Setting energetic boundaries will protect your auric field from the psychic debris or incursions of others. They are often necessary when going out into the world, especially if you are a sensitive individual. So those of you also that are tarot readers, right? You already know that from working with different clients, working and doing readings for peers, working and doing readings for, whatever it may be, you have to keep those boundaries in place, right? Because people can often kind of, try to overstep those boundaries, and you have to kind of put the hand up and be like, I need, there's a lot of energy that you work with as energy workers, and not all of it is great. Not all of the energy that people give to you is easy to deal with, right? So this is also Spirit saying you're needing to also remember to set those boundaries, energetic boundaries, or even those boundaries that are needed within intimate relationships, other people, friends, peers, family members. Okay. And then we have the Muse of Art here. And that one is 201. So let's see. And then we're just going to get some quick guidance to close this out. Okay. So we have visual art, painting, and sculpture. And it says the Muse of Art wants to channel some artistic magic through you. When this card appears, it could be affirming your gift as a visual artist. Paint, pastels, or clay is asking to be shaped by your hand. Perhaps collage or crafting is more your style. Sculpt, draw, paint, play with colors, explore your favorite visual medium. Perhaps you need a bit of inspiration to flow. If you're feeling uninspired, go to an art museum or gallery. Take a friend with you to talk about the artworks that stimulate and move you. What makes you drawn to a specific style? Examine and enjoy this process. Get together with other artists to share, support, and talk about your work. Social activities can spark new ideas for our work and get the pot of creativity stirring. Okay? So beautiful energy, like I said, for those of you that feel called to some type of form of expression. Doesn't necessarily have to be clay or painting and things like that. There's many different ways of using art. So let's see. What other messages? Pile number 2. We have the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, and integration time. Okay, so this is also taking everything that you learn, and kind of putting it all together, right? To actually integrate into your life or into your practice or, whatever it is that you're using this for. We also have deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Okay, so lots of healing. I'm feeling a huge healing energy in this pile. We've also got the love, and it says Hadarian energy, codependency, and boundaries. Again, boundaries. Okay, like I said, there is this energy of attachment here. So if you're teaching people to release attachment to a person, to a situation, to an outcome, you're really helping people to remove that sense of codependency, learn to set healthier boundaries, learn to form healthier connections, regardless if they're romantic or platonic, whatever they may be. Okay? So I'm going to leave your reading here for you, pile number 2. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, Pal 3. So, for those of you that resonated with this card of protection on the Fire Quartz Tower, this is going to be your reading today. And we're asking Spirit, how are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? So, let's get into it. Pile number 3. How are you meant to use your spiritual gifts and talents? Now, as I told pile 1 and pile 2, this reading is more for those of you that already have an awareness of what your gifts are. You just don't know what you're supposed to do with them. If you don't know what your gifts are, what your psychic or spiritual gifts are, I do have other readings in the playlist for identifying what those gifts are. But if I do see any that come through here today, then I will definitely know what those are. Okay, so pile 3. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? Okay, so we do have the Mastery of Coins, which is the King of Pentacles. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? Wow. Okay. So the message that I'm already getting here with the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Pentacles is a huge energy in manifestation within the physical world. Okay. This is bringing in a lot of prosperity, a lot of abundance, a lot of positive flow of abundance that you experience within your life. And it could be that you're helping other people to kind of achieve this for themselves as well. Okay, so let's see what else is coming through. So you guys may have some powerful manifestation abilities. Okay, and the King of Pentacles energy is one that is very focused, very grounded, very disciplined, very organized, and not all of us feel that way. Not all of us feel that we're like that, right? It's a work in progress. And the King of Pentacles energy is about you really stepping up and taking the lead. It is about you not being afraid to take risks in life, which means that you're investing your time, your money, your energy into different things, right? You're not just focused on one thing, right, for abundance or prosperity and bringing that wealth of prosperity into many different areas of your life, but you're focusing on putting that energy in multiple places or even creating multiple streams of income for yourself. Okay, so let's see what else. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? Pile number 3. We have the action of coins, which is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so lots of earth energy here so far. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And a lot of this is that it's coming through, like I said, connected to both the Knight of Pentacles and also the King of Pentacles, is the physical world, right? So you're using your gifts in the physical world, and it could be that you're teaching people to really find discipline and to keep themselves grounded and focused. With the Knight of Pentacles energy, this is also about baby steps in the right direction, meaning that you're teaching people these skills that can help them to achieve maybe the abundance that they desire, to open themselves up to what is flowing, right? Because the Wheel of Fortune is also about flow, right? So you're teaching them to flow with life versus creating resistance. So however you use those gifts, but I'm feeling a lot of this earth energy here is coming through. So let's see what else. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? Pile number 3. Some of you may also be super gifted when it comes to like real estate, investments, banking, the way that you think, like your thought process. I'm also seeing the King of Swords energy here. And then we do have the Messenger of Swords, which is the Knight of Swords. Okay, so you're teaching people to think about their choices, their decisions. There's definitely a leadership type of ability that you do have, pile 3. Okay, and it could be teaching people to take action within their life. So I'm going to grab another tarot deck here, pile 3. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? We have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, so there's this energy here of you being able to give someone almost like a lot of leadership skills and abilities that you have. So it almost makes me feel like you have this gift of communicating with people. Communication skills, great communication skills that is helping to lead others. And you're teaching people not to give up, I feel like, because we do have the Nine of Wands energy here, which is resilience. Um, okay, we do have the Four of Pentacles. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? We have the Five of Cups in reverse. Yeah. It's almost like what a way, I'm trying to think of what to call this. This is a, almost like you're somebody who motivates others. Like you motivate other people to kind of like keep going and not give up on themselves, on their goals, on what they're wanting to achieve. You're teaching them to kind of not be afraid of taking risks in life and to let go of any type of past disappointment, almost that makes them want to just give up and just stop. Okay? How are you meant to use? So this is very different than pile one of pile two. So let's see. How are you meant to use your spiritual gifts, psychic gifts, and talents? We got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. We also have a Strength in the reverse. And I'm also seeing the Three of Pentacles. So this Three of Pentacles energy, for some of you, this is entrepreneurship. This is that you are meant to use these gifts and these skills that you have. Like I said, some serious energy here of manifestation. And it could be that you're using these skills to open your own business, run your own business. Like I said, very much leadership type of mentality. Very wise, very knowledgeable. This could be that you are motivationally speaking, that you are someone who is helping people to move beyond their fears, because I am seeing the Strength energy here in reverse. So we've got some Leo energy here, right? And Leo energy is all about confidence, right? So you could be really teaching people to move beyond the fear and really be more confident in themselves. Especially if people have been kind of stuck in a cycle where they've hold on to that disappointment, and that disappointment could be something that's very discouraging. And maybe even making it so that they're afraid to make change or to create change within their life. You're teaching them not to give up, right? Keep pushing, keep going, go with the flow, because regardless of what it is that, you, as the King of Pentacles here, the King of Pentacles learns a lot of lessons, right? And how to keep oneself disciplined and focused and organized and committed to long-term goals, right? Long-term goals. So sometimes when we don't see that instant gratification that our ego says we need to have things right now, right? That you're teaching people to think more so in perspective of future, right? We're getting ourselves in alignment where we have this long-term goal of something that we want to achieve. And with the Knight of Pentacles energy here, this is those baby steps that you take to keeping yourself on track and keeping yourself focused. And I'm noticing here that we've got two kings here, right? Which to me is kind of like your leadership abilities, your ability to talk or to communicate with someone or to help with these abilities that you have. And then I'm also seeing that we have two no, this is the Page of Swords. Okay, Page of Swords, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles here. Um, but with the Page of Swords energy here, this is the energy of a student. Okay, and if you're coming in here as the King of Swords, you are the master. You are someone who is already learned these lessons. And so you, as someone who carries this energy of of authenticity and speaking your truth, and someone who is able to see situations clearly. You are helping people. So this, for some of you, may even be some type of online teaching or instructing or helping some type of students to learn something. And I feel, like I said, it almost feels like you are helping people to you're keeping them motivated. Um, yeah, that is the best way that I can explain this energy that I'm seeing here. You're helping to um, teach them to let go of the maybe the losses that they've experienced, the disappointment, the heaviness that they're holding on to, that cycle that they've kept themselves in of fear, and teaching them these very valuable lessons with that Page of Swords. And then the Knight of Pentacles energy is almost like they're keeping themselves accountable, right? Like keeping themselves accountable. And this is something that you're teaching here, not to give up. That Nine of Wands, that even though the path to the King of Pentacles, like I said, is not an easy one. You know, it requires you to stay very focused on what your goal is, whatever it may be. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be with something to do with banking or finances or investments or anything like that. It is any goal that you have within the physical, right? Something that's tangible, right? This could be your career goals, your education, um, and kind of not being afraid to take risks where you need to help further yourself along. But a lot of this energy here is connected to the physical world, manifestation. um so to me, this could be that once you've really mastered these skills on your own and learn to kind of better yet go with the flow of life, that you're teaching other people these skills as well, and to kind of help to close out these cycles here where they are afraid, where they're fearful of making change to themselves or to committing themselves to certain goals. So let's clarify some of this energy here. We got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, strong Leo energy. So King number 3, let's clarify this. King of Pentacles. The Ace of Cups, okay? The Ace of Cups is this overflowing cup of unlimited potential and possibility. So you could be helping people to realize that true potential within themselves, okay? Or to really trusting their intuition when it comes to making certain decisions, taking action, being a visionary, right? Because many of you with this King of Swords energy, the King of Swords is a visionary. He's a planner in this masculine energy. So you could be someone who has a vision or a plan. Some of you could even be with this King of Swords energy here, clairvoyance, clairaudience, a very strong connection to the divine, okay? With the King of Pentacles energy here and also the Knight of Pentacles, you could also be very naturally gifted when it comes to witchcraft, okay? For those of you that resonate with that energy as well. Let's see what this is. Wheel of Fortune. Wow, that is too many. We've got the Seven of Cups coming up for that one. And the Seven of Cups energy, you're helping people to make decisions and make choices, because the Seven of Cups can sometimes be this energy where we feel overwhelmed by so many different opportunities, so many different choices, and we feel like we might make the wrong choice sometimes. And so instead of making a choice, we make no choice, right? And that Seven of Cups energy here is called analysis paralysis, meaning that when we have so many different choices, so many kind of things going on in our mind, that we are paralyzed with confusion or with fear of making a decision, right? And so the Wheel of Fortune, like I said, is all about flow. Okay, it is the cycles of life. So you're helping people to find their own flow and to make choices and decisions and not be afraid. Okay, what is this tonight? Like I said, 2 power 1 and power 2. However you choose to do that with your career, if it's something that is super conventional, meaning that you go to school, you get a degree, and you use those skills, or you're someone who wants a spiritual job and you use those skills to help people to learn to manifest, to teach people skills. You actually teach online classes, with some type of talent or skill that you have. You're a good speaker, you have motivational skills. We have teacher and student here, basically, with the Page of Swords and the King of Swords. So let's see, what is the Knight of Pentacles energy here? We have the Emperor in reverse, right? So you're teaching people to learn to ground their energy. Again, this pile is all about focus and discipline and organization and structure and stability, right? You're teaching people to find that within themselves and to, I feel like, tap into their masculine energy, because we have the King of Swords here, the King of Pentacles, the Emperor energy, and also the Knight of Pentacles. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be, it's just that these energies in the tarot are predominantly masculine energies. And with the Emperor energy here, you're teaching people to learn to be their own leader in their own life, right? Making empowered choices and decisions. However you choose to do it. What is this King of Swords? We have Awakening, which is the Judgment card. We've got some Scorpio, some Aries energy here. And Scorpio Judgment energy is about transformation. Okay? It is you being the phoenix rising from the ashes, but you also teaching people to transform themselves into a more authentic version of themselves. They're letting go of any of the heaviness, the burdens, the pain, the loss, any type of old patterns of behavior that no longer fits who they truly are, right? You're teaching people to kind of have that, giving people kind of like a wake-up call in their life to really align to their true self, their most authentic self, finding their soul's calling, okay? Uncovering their soul's calling. What is this Page of Swords? We have the Hierophant in reverse. Okay, so again, student, teacher. With the Hierophant is a teacher, a mentor. Okay, so, and with the Hierophant being in reverse, this is going to be more unconventional ways of you teaching, meaning that you may not necessarily be teaching in a traditional setting. This is an unconventional way of teaching people. Okay, so it's not going to be that you work, say, for the school district or that you work as a college professor. This is different. The Hierophant in reverse is more unconventional ways, outside the box thinking, that you're helping people, to guide them, to mentor them, to teach them. Okay, and let's see, why is the Nine of Wands energy here? We have the Seven of Swords. Okay, so to me, it's kind of like you're teaching people not to give up and not to avoid or run away from the opportunities that are there, right? Like I said, that King of Pentacles is very empowered, and the King of Pentacles becomes the King of Pentacles because he took a risk. He took many risks in order to get to where he's at, right? Symbolic for you being able to achieve much abundance and prosperity within your lifetime. And the kings here are entrepreneurs, meaning they own their own business. They don't work for someone. They are leaders. Okay? You are helping people to kind of teach, guide. So let's see, what is this? And you're teaching in some way with the Seven of Swords to see through illusion, deception, and sometimes that illusion and deception is our own thoughts, us being in our own way. And you're teaching people to see through that illusion, whether it be fear, insecurities, doubts that you have in yourself. You're teaching people to see beyond that and to not give up. Okay? Why is the Four of Pentacles energy here? We have the Five of Swords in reverse. You're teaching people to let go of self-sabotaging thoughts, right? Or replacing them with more stable, grounded energy here, resolving that conflict that they feel within the self. We also have the King of Wands in reverse. Okay? So you're helping people in a way to any type of self sabotaging type of behavior that people have, right? You're teaching them to work on eliminating that and really about reclaiming their power by being able to release any of these uh, fears, insecurities, anxiety, anything about them making choices change here. Why is the Wheel of Fortune? And with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, this can also be where people feel they have no control over their life. You're teaching them they do. Okay? You're teaching them they fear that they do. That the idea that one does not have control over your life to me is more fear based. Okay? More self sabotaging to think that no matter what it is that you're going through, that you don't have the potential to change it. Okay? You have the ability to make different choices, to create change, to manifest change. And this is what you're helping people with, is to see that they are in control, right? They are in control here. What is this Wheel of Fortune in reverse? We've also got Aries, Leo, Sag, Five of Pentacles. You're helping people to remove the energy of lack, the lack mentality, scarcity mindset, poverty mindset, however you resonate with it. Okay, the Five of Pentacles is a whole vibe by itself, and it's not a good one. Okay, when we're feeling like this, when we feel low, when we feel empty, when we feel void, when we feel that we're constantly in a state of lack, no matter what that lack is. Okay, if it is because predominantly your energy here is about abundance and prosperity and creating and manifesting change within the physical. And so with the Five of Pentacles energy here, it can be feeling that how am I ever going to make more money? How am I ever going to, you know, uh, create multiple streams of income for myself? Or how can I ever get that degree? Or how can I ever do both school and work and make it happen, right? But it is that energy of lack where we feel that we're just done. We're just defeated. We have to just kind of give up because we keep ourselves in that scarcity mindset that there is never enough, that there's no opportunities for us, that we can't do anything to change our situation, right? So we just shut down. Right? So that's what you're teaching people, to change that, to face it and to change it. Why is the Strength energy here in reverse? I almost feel like those of you that are resonating with this are very unique individuals. Because this is quite the talent, right? To be able to motivate people to create and manifest this type of change at this capacity within their life. Right? I feel like it's a very focused group for those of you that chose this. We have the Two of Wands, right? So you're teaching people they have a choice. They have a choice, and how indecision leaves them stuck, right? We have the Seven of Pentacles underneath the deck. So you're also helping people to reevaluate and reassess where they're putting their focus, where they're putting their energy. Again, the Pentacles energy here, very physical world, right? Manifestation, whatever people, you're teaching them to also be patient with their progress, with what it is that they're working towards, right? To be patient. Let's see. Okay, let's go into these or messages, pile 3. We have the Demolisher, and it says you have the ability to step out of the past and let go of the old energies to step into the new with ease. You thrive on change, right? So you're teaching people to kind of demolish the old ways of thinking, the old ways of doing, right? Thriving on kind of making changes, progress within life. So how are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? How free. We have mystical, and it says something very mystical about you, which gives people the impression that you are very much in your power, and you are. Okay, people can feel that. The energy, the vibration that you give off of you being an empowered person. And if you don't feel that way quite yet, keep at it. The same message is here. Keep focusing on and don't give up. Don't let fear be something that blocks you, because as you are meant to use these spiritual gifts to empower yourself and bring yourself to this energy, you could be sharing that wisdom and knowledge with other people once you align yourself to that energy, to your power. Okay. We also have performer here. And it says you are meant to be on the spotlight and can be successful doing it with a natural ability to draw a crowd and influence others with your charm and talents. Okay? So again, your energy, your vibe is something that is helping to influence, right? You could be an influencer, right? Some type of a mentor, like I said, very unconventional with the Hierophant in reverse. We also have sophisticated here, and it says you have a higher understanding of sex and sexuality. It's authentic and empowering, often having a shocking effect on people and provoking insecurity in others. So, with this energy, to me, like I said, you guys have the kings coming through here, and the kings are very empowered. Okay? Now, some of you may have just this natural aura, ability, energy to you that draws a lot of attention from other people's. And for some people, it is going to make them insecure and it could trigger them. But it's also that you have this energy about you that draws other people to you, so that you are someone who maybe is some type of an influence to other people, and people want to hear you speak. People want to hear your ideas, because with that, it's also helping them to find themselves, to change themselves. And some of you may have just a very, like Spirit is saying here, sex and sexuality. What that says to me is that you're in your power. Okay, you are in your power, whether you are male or female. Our power, our sexual energy is housed within the sacral chakra, and that is where we gain our confidence, by being comfortable in our own skin, and that energy exuding outward and showing such strength and such power, right? So for some of you, yeah, it can be a work in progress where you are learning to find your personal power within the self. Okay? Learning to be comfortable in your own skin. We have Sweetheart here, and it says you live from love, seeing the divinity and love beneath the surface and shaping others' world and experiences through the perception of the heart. Okay? So this is also speaking to me a lot about you being someone who is very compassionate, right? And empathetic towards other people as well. We also have dimension travel at the bottom. And this one says you're able to open gateways to realms outside of this dimension. It can be discovered naturally or open through the performance of rituals. Decide upon your realm. Okay, so some of you may feel like you are astral travelers here. Let's go into these next. How free, how much your spiritual, psychic gifts and talents. We have inner child. Okay, so you're meant to use your gifts to help you heal unresolved childhood scars, childhood trauma that's holding you back, and exploring your childhood wounds. Okay, so once you do this, again, you're able to help other people to identify what wounds are keeping them or blocking them from becoming this empowered version of self. Okay, let's see what else. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? We have true love, and it says experiencing true love in your life, being in a loving long-term union, and a selfless and unconditional love. Okay? So when you are working on your healing, right? You're working on empowering yourself, you're working on going for your transformation, right? All of this spiritual knowledge and lessons that you learned from the past, letting go of these mindsets here. When you work on these things, you are raising your own vibration. And when you do that, you align yourself with that of unconditional love. and being able to better find a romantic connection in which you and that person could be soulmates, right? Or some type of divine connection. Okay. So when you, like I said, you work on your healing here, you work on aligning yourself and truly standing in your power, you're going to attract different partners. Okay. When you truly learn to love yourself, we also have culture here. And it says attachment to self and existence. Your soul is meant to transcend all cultures and a deep connection to the ancestors. Okay? So you're using your gifts to connect with ancestors, spiritual work for some of you. Okay? Let's see what else. How are you meant to use your spiritual psychic gifts and talents? We have Path of the Heart. And it says a path dedicated to romantic love. Your main life lessons will be very heart-based, and you're on earth to obtain emotional wisdom. Let's see what else. We have Difficult Road, the spirit of perseverance, being prepared for great things, and walking the hard path in life. Okay? So it's going to be you being able to kind of pull through that, right? You're going through that judgment energy. We also have home and family here, building a loving home, a strong sense of family obligation and fulfillment through family. Okay, so we're seeing love here, the path of the heart. For some of you, yes, it could be very challenging, right, that you go through in order to find this, right? But like I said, once you were truly kind of working on your healing here, for some of you, some inner child healing that is creating blockages, right? Spirit is saying here, childhood trauma holding you back. For those of you that does resonate. Let's see what else. Even when things are difficult, you persevere through it. Okay? Because the Spirit is saying you're being prepared for great things. What is that great thing? That King of Swords and the King of Pentacles with the Wheel of Fortune. It's all of this flow, right? You're clearing karma. We have stopping procrastination and self-sabotage. Okay? So you're using your gifts to help you stop procrastinating and self-sabotaging, right? You're using them in a positive way to get yourself to that King of Pentacles, to get yourself to that King of Swords. We have clear cognition, and it says clear knowing, intense gut feelings, downloaded information about people, places, or events. Okay? So by you using this type of energy, it reminds me very much of the High Priestess. Okay? Which is your inner knowing. It is you learning to trust your intuition, right? About how you perform, the things that you're working on in your life, manifesting. How are you meant to use your spiritual gifts? We have the ability to handle challenges with a positive attitude, right? Because we can very easily go off and feel like when something not so great happens in our life that we completely do a downward spiral, right? And we feel low, we feel lack, we feel defeated, we feel all of these things, and we can definitely keep ourselves there, right? But if we can say, okay, yes, this is difficult, this is challenging, this sucks, I don't like it, but what am I doing to change it, right? It is a choice. We can either choose to keep ourselves in that energy, or we can choose to say, okay, that's it. I'm done with that. Let's figure this out. Let me find the solution. Or let me ask someone what their guidance is, their advice is, their opinion is, support. If we feel like we don't have anybody, right? To help us see our way to navigate through this. Let's see. Okay, so we have clarity of mind. Release worries and concerns to the universe. And let's get one more. We have take action towards your soul's desires, right? Which is how Spirit is wanting you to use your gifts, is for you to start taking action towards what your soul is calling you to do, which is that King of Pentacles, that King of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, into bringing a positive flow of prosperity, abundance, love, stability, security, love, home and family. Like I said, everything that is tangible within your life here on earth is what Spirit is wanting you to use those gifts for. And the way that you do that is for some of you working on your inner child healing, working on fears, working on insecurities, working on things that you recognize about yourself that is blocking you from the success, the prosperity, the love, the family, whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest in your life. You have the power to do it. And this is Spirit saying, take action towards what your soul is desiring. Okay? So let's get fear, pile of the three. We have inner wisdom and intuition. Okay, this is something major for you to really focus on using your intuition to help to guide you on your path. We have spiritual protection and teachers. We have recovery road, especially for those of you that have gone through some very difficult stuff, or for some of you that recovery can even be from addictions. Okay, helping other people through recovery, yourself through recovery. We have worry is a wasted emotion. Okay, is what Spirit is saying. Worry is a wasted emotion. It's not helping us. It's not getting us to resolve anything. Having worry or anxiety about the future. And those of you that have an anxiety disorder, I get you. I have an anxiety disorder too. It's easier said than done. But it is, wasted energy, feeling anxious. So let's see what this message is for pile number 3. How are you meant to use your spiritual, psychic gifts and talents? That is too many. Pile number 3. We've got boundaries. Wow. And we also have the muse of poetry. Okay. Now this boundaries energy, this did come up for another pile as well. So this is going to be you setting any type of boundaries with friends, with clients, with parents, with friends, with siblings, with romantic partners, and having a mutual respect for each other's boundaries, which is also something Spirit is wanting you to really tune into. We also have the muse of poetry here as well. And some of you may be feeling called to write some form of expression here. I do want to see what the book says about this. Okay, so yes, we have evocation, emotional expression, verbal rhythm. And it says the muse of poetry is representation of Erato, the patron Greek muse of lyrical love poetry and song. Erato means desired or lovely, which has the same root as Eros, the Greek god of love. Ancient poets turned to Erato when they wanted to channel their deep expressions of desire and passion for their beloveds. The Muse of Poetry card isn't just about love poetry. Our emotions are diverse and merit poetic evocation when they bubble up to the surface. American poet Emily Dickinson is famously known for exploring themes of death and immortality as well as love. The Muse of Poetry wants us to express ourselves in verse. Finding a rhythm with words can help us to ponder our deepest emotions. It doesn't have to be fancy. Dickinson's style was quite unique for her time in that she wrote lines with crisp, concise words that had rhythm and impact. It says the muse's mastery over creative expression comes from the heart. If you have pulled this card, it is time to channel her genius through your heart and hand. Poetry can liberate us and guide us to examine our lives. This card may be inviting you to explore your deeper thoughts and feelings about a situation. It can be difficult to capture sometimes, but writing our impressions down in a simple and evocative way can help us to suss out our feelings. Okay, so this is Spirit really wanting you to use these gifts with whether that is helping to tune into another person's energy with your gifts or even into your own energy to find some kind of form of expression of getting those words to paper, whether you do write poetry or you're someone who likes to write or you're someone who, wants to speak something, you want to create some type of work so that you really can look at it and kind of identify, what is happening here? What is it that I'm truly feeling? Is there something that's kind of underlying there in my belief system that could potentially be holding me back? Okay, so let's look at these last messages. Any last messages of guidance that Spirit feels you need to hear today? Pile number 3. We have Star Brothers here. Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. Let's see what else. We also have the bud, and it says potential, promise, it's about to happen, and keep going. Okay, keep going here. Trust, right? Let's see, one more. And then we also have deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Okay, it's also what Spirit is wanting you to focus on, your spiritual gifts, talents. We also have inner earth, and it says you'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. Okay, so no matter how defeated, lost, fearful, insecure, any of these things, this is you being this work in progress, and you're using these gifts to help yourself to heal. And if you do decide to kind of go on and help other people, whether it is an unconventional way or a more conventional way, this is Spirit really showing that this belief with you being able to attain this certain level of that King of Pentacles, of that King of Swords, of that Wheel of Fortune, and moving more into this energy of flow versus resistance that is caused by our own way of thinking. Okay? So I'm going to leave it here for you, pile number 3. I hope this is helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading.